Mostly I do this live because I we have people over who can watch this in real time. But the perils of it and the cons of it, right, is because sometimes I lose the episode. So we were having a great conversation with Arshad, and we were talking about calisthenics, and you can't have a hold on technology. So I believe I've lost the episode right now, which we a great conversation regarding calisthenics. Continue watching. I'm going to touch upon the same questions that I asked, but this is going to be a conversation. I want you to know that we were talking about calisthenics with Arshad, but the video got cut. So I'm going to continue and probably re-ask the same questions so that we are in flow. You guys are listening to the Bangalore Fitness Podcast, and I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Keep watching. We were having a great conversation. Uh,
As I told you, doing it live, it's fun. It's fun, speaking to all of you guys, and you can ask questions and stuff. But if I don't do it live, we wouldn't have this conversation. So I just did lose. I believe I lost the episode, and it's happened to me quite a bit.
but
Hey, hi, bro.
bro, if you didn't know, I've lost that the bit. I'm
No,
gonna
no, no
continue.
worries.
We're gonna continue. So I might touch upon the same questions that I asked, so that we're still in flow, right? We were
For
talking
sure, for
about you being into calisthenics and you being a physics teacher,
right.
and your love for physics and calisthenics, how it correlates. Probably I'll re-ask the same questions so we're in flow,
For sure,
and I'm
for
gonna
sure.
save the episode after a while. And
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, I've lost a lot. I've lost a couple of episodes doing this live, but I like this live so that it's sort of an interactive thing versus doing it on
Yeah,
Zoom or doing it in any other way,
absolutely. Yeah,
right? So I have
yeah.
to take that risk of like doing it live, and yes. So let me ask. We were talking about Richard Feynman, and I said like again my thing about like me learning about physics, relearning so to speak, because like in school it was not really a good subject in terms of like how I grasped stuff. Versus I was good at basketball and stuff like that, so I was more of like the
Oh, wow,
sports.
you play basketball too.
Oh, bro,
So,
we have a lot of things in common,
lot in common, right?
right? That's great. That's great.
You should probably ask you which college you studied at.
I
So, I
I went
don't
to
know.
Jane. I went to
You
Jane.
went to JB. Okay, maybe
And
one
I was in
difference.
Joseph's
Oh, you
schooling.
were in Joseph. I was also in Joseph's.
See, somewhere it relates, right? I mean, small world.
Yeah, I know, man. Seriously.
Okay.
So
So
I just, before we continue, I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone who's
definitely,
joining. Guys, it
definitely.
means a lot that you're all here. Like, and before we continue, also, I just want to say one thing that honestly, whatever I am today is because of the love and support that I've got from like so many of them.
Yes.
And it means the world to me that all of them have tuned in live.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
You guys can ask
it's
questions. You guys can ask anything related to calisthenics. I'm probably physics too. I mean, but it's an open fitness podcast, so I don't mind. Like, there's no, but I don't have a script here, so like we can play ball anytime, right? So to speak. So, give us a bit about. Let me know. I think we did interview your friend too. Is part of the same
yeah, Sunny.
community. Yes,
Yeah, Sunny is
Sunny
like
Bhai.
one of my greatest inspirations, man.
Nice. That's crazy.
He's killing it and he's such an inspiration to all of us.
Right. Okay. So before I get into the calisthenics community and the trend that's happening regarding calisthenics, yes,
Right, right.
he's somebody asked, did you have dinner?
I did.
Right. Right.
And
Before that,
there's so many comments.
how did you get into calisthenics? Like, what was that? As you already explained before, you were
Right.
talking, you were into the traditional bodybuilding and stuff like that in the
Yes,
gym.
yes, yes.
What
Right,
was that transition, and what made
right.
that transition possible? And where do you see the different sides of traditional bodybuilding versus this?
Right. So, okay, so this is a very good question, man. Like, and this is something that I love answering.
Yes.
Uh, because I've seen so many people who are into fitness, but it's really important to know what makes people fall in love with calisthenics. And when they fall in love with calisthenics, they're so passionate about it, right? So this is what happened for me. Uh, Actually, I first was into, traditional bodybuilding, as I said, and then my friend invited me for a yoga class.
Right.
And back then, when I was working out, and this was in Cult Fit, I was the guy who used to lift the maximum amount of weights.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, yoga, big deal, just some stretches. That was
Yes.
the attitude because I was like, I've already like
Yeah,
reached a
yeah.
certain level in bodybuilding, so I can like easily do even yoga. So then then later I went for the session, and it was so difficult, man, just to hold even some of the basic poses uh, in calisthenics. I mean, in yoga, it was so
Yoga.
difficult that I was like surprised, so surprised that it came as like a kind of a shocker to me. Like, how can I build my body so much, but yet not able to stand in some poses
Yes. Yes.
which
Yeah.
others were able to stand so easily. So that was kind of like a wake up call. And then later, it just so happened that when I was searching some things on fitness, I saw a video about these two brothers. They call it Calisthenics
Calisthenics.
Family.
I'm sorry?
Calisthenics Family. There's this.
Family. Okay. I've heard of the Bar
So
Brothers.
yeah, so Bar Brothers are also these crazy guys. But I first hit up on Calisthenics Family. These two brothers who showed their 1 year transformation in calisthenics. And like I was blown up because they show these guys struggling with things like handstand, muscle up, all that. And then 1 year later, the kind of things that they've achieved was so extraordinary that it blew my mind. So I went to my gym and I told everyone, guys, have you heard of calisthenics? It's so cool and everything. But no one had a clue, man. No one had even heard the word. And
Right.
this is people who've been in fitness for such a long time, right? So then I was like surprised, but I was like so inspired by this whole calisthenics. So I started searching more stuff about it. And then eventually I met a couple of people. Then I also discovered Ashwin Haridas, who started the calisthenics based community in Bangalore.
Right.
And he's been doing this for such a long time. And I reached out to him, and then we started working out together. So that's kind of how my calisthenics journey has been so far.
Journey. I think the question ties up with who motivates you. I'm sure this journey needs a motivation to be consistent. Do you want to answer that,
Yes.
or is it the same
Yeah,
answer?
for sure. For sure. Thank you, Shubham, for that wonderful question. So, I mean, what motivates me, honestly, to start with, one of my biggest inspirations in calisthenics is this guy called Frank Medrano.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, yes.
he's this crazy dude,
Vegan
like,
bodybuilder, a vegan, right?
vegan Cali guy. He's 41, but he looks like he's, I don't know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
25 or
yeah, yes.
30. And,
Frank
one
Medran.
of the most humble guys, even when you hear him speak, such a sweet guy. At the same time, like, he's the guy who made calisthenics like mainstream
Uh-huh.
before even people had heard about it. So he's one of my greatest inspirations of all time. And then
Man,
there
it's
are a
been a
lot of
long
people
time.
who do it individually. But if you ask me a question, what motivates me the most, it's all about the community, man. Like, and this is what I love about calisthenics, which is different from bodybuilding as well. In bodybuilding, Max, you can have a partner, right, who will work out with you, who will help
Yes,
you sport and everything. But in calisthenics, it is always a community. And I love being around people, man. Like
yes,
I'm so natural. I love interacting with people. It makes me so happy when someone progresses.
right.
Like my own friend Sunil, like we both started calisthenics together, but he achieved the muscle up, and I was before me, and like I was so excited for him getting the muscle up.
Exactly.
So it's all about the community and how we all look out for each other,
Yeah.
and that's the most motivating thing for me in calisthenics.
Right. That leads me to my next question. Talk about the community in Bangalore versus how many years have you been observing this, and how's the community coming along, and where do you guys chill? And I know the answer, but I want everybody to,
Sure.
understand what's happening.
Sure. So, like I mentioned earlier, I got in touch with Ashwin, who actually started calisthenics in Bangalore, right? So he's been killing it for a long time. He's achieved things so advanced that we have to work really hard to get to where
Right,
he is.
right.
And he's such a humble guy and such a sweet that he was more than happy to just help us out. And I think Ashwin just joined in live now.
Right.
So I mean, big shout out to you, man. Like we are all doing this in Bangalore because you started this.
That's
So thank you
great.
so much. Uh, anyway, so I got in touch with Ashwin, and he created this community called Calisthenic Beast, and
Right.
they were working out in Jaimal Park for quite some time.
Hmm.
So all our workouts, whatever stories you see of us, is pretty much in Jaimal Park,
Right.
and that's where we work out. And then I started my calisthenics journey. This was September last year,
Okay.
right? And then as I started, like another friend of mine, Sunil, he came and he started working out. He was like, he's also from a traditional bodybuilding background.
Right.
So he was like, let me try this. Then he joined in, and then a couple of other friends joined in. And now, on a daily basis, we have close to 15 people
Okay.
who are
Crazy.
there every day, who work out in Jaimal Park, and it's growing every single day.
Right. Right.
So,
And I do some
it's
see some crazy posts, crazy stuff going down. Yeah.
we're all trying to
So
support each other and grow as a community. So
I
that's
mean,
pretty much.
frankly, when I started off learning and understanding the calisthenics scene, it was a couple
Right.
of years ago. But as you told, like without the community, it doesn't stand so much.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
was to myself, and I was in this phase of understanding fitness and doing the broad various, going doing yoga or trekking or calisthenics. It
Right.
was all a
Right.
part of just the journey of understanding is not only necessarily at the gym, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Caliston Singh says, guess what? I have the same story, but I checked Arshad himself, and that blew my mind. And we have another
Wow.
question. Sanket asks, how much impact has turning vegetarian made to you? Does it affect recovery? Do you take protein supplements?
All right. So, yeah, before that, I'll just quickly give a shout out to everyone who's still joined in. And
Yeah,
there's so
I'm
many
getting
people
a
are sending so
request.
much love,
I am
including
getting
my
a
first
request to be
mention.
live, Vatsala Krishna. I'm sorry, probably I can do another episode with you guys. Please reach out. So the main focus is on Arshad right now. I'm going to drill him with questions. Probably you can ask questions below, but I do the interview.
Yeah. So, thank you so much to everyone who's joined in. Santosh, my first coach in calisthenics, who's Hema, and there's Sunil. So many of them have joined in, and thank you so much. Vatsala is a very, very good friend of mine. And there's so many people, man. And so there's
It's great that you
Jyoti,
have such a nice
Sonu.
community.
Yeah, so that's the cool thing about this community. Like they've all joined in,
Yes,
and it's so cool because they're all supporting me right now.
yes, yes, exactly.
So let's get back to that question which Sanket had asked.
Yes.
So yeah, so how much impact has turning vegetarian made to you? Does it affect recovery? Do you take any protein supplements? All right. So okay, let me probably start with why I turned vegetarian and what was my motivation to turn vegetarian. And in fact, now I'm actually vegan, right?
Okay.
So I turned vegetarian in 2013. Um, Traditionally, I'm supposed to be a hardcore non-vegetarian because I'm a Kerala Muslim, which means
Right.
that,
Okay.
a
Yes.
lot of non-veg,
Yes.
right?
The other end. You're now at the other
Beef
end.
fry and kappa meen curry and all that, right?
Yes.
So that's how I'm supposed to be. But 2013, I turned vegetarian
Oh,
because
crazy.
I saw like how the animals were treated during
Yes.
Bakrid, and
Huh.
then I wasn't very happy about it. So I told my mom, like, I'm not doing this because actually, as a family, we've all been rescuing animals.
Right.
So we could kind of, relate to the pain that they were going through, right? Because we've seen animals suffer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to turn vegetarian. Then in 2019, I turned vegan, May 2019, because there's this friend of mine who was also vegan, and he kept asking me, like, he kept telling me, bro, these animals suffer a lot to, give whatever products they're giving, whether it's dairy products or poultry or any of
Yes.
that, right? So he kept sending me these videos of dairy farms and stuff. I hadn't opened it. Finally, one day, like I was watching some video on YouTube, and then there was this video, what happens in dairy farms.
Yes.
I watched that and I was like in tears after the video.
Right.
And I just thought to myself, can I undergo the same suffering that they go through? Answer was obviously no, right? And then I decided, okay, I'm turning vegan. But I wanted to be very responsible about it. Like, because the minute you tell someone you're vegan, like, I mean, very honest thing I'll tell you that they'll try to pull you down. Just because usually it's quite a challenging thing to do, little bit.
Yes.
So, they try to pull you down such that they feel a little good about themselves that, they can't do it themselves, right? So, I wanted to be very responsible about it. So I did a lot of research about it, and I found everything that I need to eat in order not to have any issues, not to have any deficiencies and stuff. So basically, my entire journey, man, like from 2019 May, I've been vegan.
Okay.
And when people look at me, they're like shocked when I say I'm vegan because I've been able to build much more muscle than even the guys who eat non-vegetarian
Right.
diet and
Right.
that, right? Now, in terms of what effect it has on my body, finally going to the question, right? So it's great on your body because it's a much lighter diet in terms of digestion. Considering digestion is the second most energy draining process in your body,
Yes.
right? It doesn't take up much energy to digest like vegetarian food. That's one thing. So you have much higher energy levels. And do I take any protein supplements? Initially, yes. I was taking in a plant protein powder, and that was it. Apart from that, everything that I ate was natural, which included tofu, lentils,
Right.
legumes, and things like that. Right? But now I'm not even taking the plant protein powder, and I've still been getting great results. Like I've just been taking in tofu and lentils and legumes, and my recovery and muscle growth has just been going up,
Right.
even then. So yeah, I would say you can do it. It's completely
Right.
possible.
So we have another question, Anusha PS. So
Yes.
on a
Anusha
side
is a
note,
student of mine from, if I'm not wrong, 2014. Yeah, 2014.
right, right. So she asks, okay, on a side note, I'm in the process of starting a music and production podcast too. So I don't mind
Oh, wow.
asking this, asking this question also here because as I told you, if it's really about fitness too, I want to know like everything that revolves around personal fitness and stuff like that. Person, what
Absolutely.
makes them interesting.
Absolutely.
But Anusha asks, impact of music in your life. Before we move on to Anik Khan's question.
Okay. Well, actually, the time that I started playing music very seriously was when I was in a slightly dark place in my life.
Right.
So I had this. So I was in 2012. I was part of the athletic team in my college, and I used to run long distance races for my college. So I trained really hard for the university tournament. But one day before the university tournament, I was diagnosed with jaundice.
Okay.
Right? So I was like really heartbroken, man. And then with jaundice, the thing is your diet has to be like some crazy diet. Like I remember first 3 weeks I was only allowed to eat fruits and vegetables. And then after that, I was, only allowed to eat some specific things. So in other words, I was going crazy, right?
Right. Right.
And like I was craving food so much, and there was no spice I was allowed to use, like no, like even chili powder, nothing, right? I was only allowed to eat sugar with like idli and some three items, that's all.
Right.
And this was for 2 months. So I was literally going crazy. So that's when I started playing guitar more. And yeah, and my friend rightly said curd rice. So
Yes.
yeah, so there was curd rice, there was idli with sugar, and there's this Kerala dish called put.
Okay.
Uh, put I was only supposed to have with banana. Just these three things, man. So like there's no salt, there's no like chili powder,
Chili
nothing.
powder.
So I was literally losing it. I would watch cookery shows late in the night. Just I could,
Food
quench my
porn.
hunger like
Yeah.
that. So that's when I started playing guitar more seriously, and I started singing and playing guitar.
Right.
So that's when I actually picked up music more seriously. Right after that phase, in Joseph's, I was studying in Joseph's, so we formed a band and we played a couple of shows. So it
Okay.
started from that point. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Wait, I have another question. Anik Khan asks, how to begin from the ground up? What are the real basics? The question come up, what are the real basics? The standard hanging and push-ups and stuff. I think he's asking this the general, how does
Yes.
one begin as a beginner?
With calisthenics, right? Okay, now this is the really cool thing about calisthenics. Anyone can do calisthenics. Okay, when I say that, I really mean that. Basically, it is you slowly developing control over your body, right? So, generally, how we divide our workouts is we have a push-pull leg day, right? And
Yes.
then in between, we try to squeeze in some amount of core workout, right? Now, if you want to start calisthenics, the most basic exercises are push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and squats, right? Now, again, when I say most basic, again, I would stress that something like a pull-up is probably challenging even for a beginner, right? Most people can't do a single pull-up. So
Yeah.
then how do you bring it down a little bit, such that everyone can do it? Then there are different variations. So there's something called an Australian pull-up,
Okay.
right? Which is on a lower bar where you can actually do it. It's like a horizontal pulling motion, which almost everyone can do, right? Even if you don't have much upper body strength, right? Then there are something called rack pull-ups where you give support with your leg, but you're kind of pulling up majority with your upper back, right?
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that every variation in calisthenics, there is a easier variation, there is a tougher variation.
Hmm.
Even now, personally, if I think about it, there is so much more that I have to achieve, which I'm not even close to achieving. But it's like a complete ocean, right? So what I'm trying to say is there's something for a complete beginner, there's something for someone who's completely advanced also,
Advanced. Okay.
right? I see people creating new and new moves every day, man. Like couple of years back, I think there's this thing called swing 360. Basically,
Okay.
you go over the bar, you'll swing. So basically, your body rotates and then you grab the bar again, right? And then some 2 years back, people started doing something called 540, which
Okay.
is they swing 1.5 times.
Yes.
And now there are people doing 720,
Okay.
which is
Now
they
it's
swing
basketball.
twice. And very soon, I'm sure people will start saying swing 3 times and whatnot, right? So it's insane, like the kind of stuff that you can achieve and how the sport is evolving. That too with a community backing the whole thing. I'm like really looking forward to what's coming up. So yeah. Also, to the same guy who asked me the question,
Yes.
bro, you can DM me after the podcast.
Yeah.
I would love to help him out as much as
Yeah.
I can.
Right. So, where else do you see this birth of calisthenics other than Bangalore? Anywhere else have you observed?
Yes. So when calisthenics initially started, I think predominantly there were these guys in Delhi who were doing it.
Okay.
They go by the name of Alpha Pack, right?
Okay.
And some of them are extremely advanced in what they do. Most of them, like most of the guys from that group, have represented India in international competitions, right?
Right.
And some of them are like we really look up to some of these guys, right? So there's Alpha Pack in Delhi. In Bombay, there is Kirsten who has this, park called the Elysium Park, and the vibe there is crazy, right? So they're
Right.
doing some amazing stuff. Then one of my greatest, again, inspiration. In fact, my Indian inspiration, apart from Ashwin, is this guy called Rajan Sharma,
Okay.
and he's this amazing guy, again, vegan guy. So I have a
Right.
little more soft corner to it,
Yes.
but again, really sweet guy, man. And he's done so many things in calisthenics. He, along with his friend called Rohan Yella, they've
Okay.
started this park in Bombay called Cali 101,
Okay.
right? So there's Cali 101, there's Elysium Park, which are both in Bombay. Then in Pune, there is Muscle Bar, right?
Okay.
And yeah, so hopefully we'll do something in Bangalore as well
Yes.
very soon.
Right.
So yeah, but in Bangalore we have a community. We don't have a park
Okay.
yet,
Yes.
but it's very soon.
The equipment, let's get into the equipment. What's the requisites for getting into calisthenics?
Yes. So calisthenics is that one sport where I remember there were so many of these memes which came up during lockdown that when lockdown happened, the gyms closed,
Yeah.
and then there's these calisthenics guys with the shades. They're like, okay, doesn't
Yeah.
matter to us because
Doesn't
all
matter.
we need is a pull-up bar and a disc bar, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much, see, almost everything in calisthenics can be done on the pull-up bar and disc bar. Apart from that, we also have something called parallettes, which is something similar to dips bar, but it's much lower, where you can do
Okay.
things
Yes.
like push-ups,
Okay.
planche,
Yes.
things like that. Apart from that, we also use gymnastic rings, which helps for a lot of things like, gymnastics rings is very versatile because one is you can adjust each of them individually, because of which what happens is even if you go somewhere randomly and you find a branch,
Hmm.
the branch is slightly slant, I
Right.
can adjust the ring in such a way that I will still get both of them exactly the same level.
Right. 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 Right.
So, and I can use gymnastic rings for everything, man. Like I can do a pull-up, I can do dips on gymnastic rings, I can do push-ups,
Right.
I can do a pistol squat with assistance.
Right.
So
Right.
it's extremely versatile. Just with gymnastic rings, I can do my entire calisthenics routine,
Right. Right.
which
Right.
I can just put over a branch and then I'm sorted.
Right. Right. Right.
Right? So
What
that's
a
how versatile and powerful it is to be
it's
able to do calisthenics.
it's complicated at the same time simplistic in terms of equipment.
Simplistic, yeah, man.
Right.
It's like yoga. Yoga, you just need a yoga mat and then you're
Yoga mat, but the positions, take you
yeah, of
somewhere else.
course.
Right? What about people, bro? What about people who are older who want to get into calisthenics? Is it advisable, or is it, they want to get into it, but they don't know what to do? What would Arshad say?
Thank you so much for asking this question, man, because this is a very nice question, and I'm so glad you asked this question. So, if anyone wants to get into calisthenics, there is no age limit, okay?
Right.
The only, issue is as you grow older, for all of us, our flexibility reduces, right? Which is why when, someone has to start a gymnastic training, they recommend them to start like very early, like when they're literally like 6 years old or 5 years old, right? So that would be the best age. However, even if you start late, there is no problem whatsoever because the place where Hema and I train, right, which is Metasphere, we have this person called Sandeep sir. He's 50 plus, and
Okay.
you won't believe it. He's unlocked Skin the Cat, reverse pullover,
Right.
so
Right.
many crazy moves which even some of the youngsters cannot do,
Right. Right.
right? And he's a true example that age is not a limit. And
Right.
there's
Right.
this
Right.
one more singer who's in Germany. His name is Marcus. He's like, I mean, we chat on and off. He's got like some crazy fan following.
Right. Right. Right.
He's 59 years old, and he does things which will take me at least 1 or 2 years to unlock.
Right. 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 That's crazy.
So So it's there's no age limit. What I'm trying to say, it's just the love for the sport and some
Sport.
amount of willingness to keep
Right.
going,
Right.
and then you're sorted.
So somebody was again sending me a request, guys. As I told you, I'm asking the questions. If you want to be part of the podcast, message me. Other than that, you can ask questions. You can actively ask questions. I want to also say I want to get into why what calisthenics meant to me initially when I started. I wouldn't say I'm nowhere near a beginner or like I'm just learning. What I tried to understand from calisthenics was it was more of shoulders. It was a big thing for me in terms of I had like a loose shoulder in my left shoulder was a bit, it used to I used
Okay,
to have these clicks at certain times. But the minute I got into calisthenics, I realized, like it's such a natural form of movement in terms of that, right? When I
right,
started
right.
doing that, just my shoulder pain went away and my flexibility in
Wow,
terms of
wow.
how my shoulder was, everything, it's a natural form. It resets your system
Exactly.
in all the fibers into the most natural form of way. And again, getting to
Absolutely.
physics, right? When you do it the right
Absolutely.
way,
Absolutely.
when you do it the right way, the mind muscle connection and the lines in terms of the stress lines across your body is so natural that it feels so
Absolutely.
beautiful. It's sort of a reset and it works uh, even more importantly for people who are a bit older so that there is a lot of
Exactly.
mismatch which it sort of settles that entire thing when you start doing calisthenics
Absolutely.
basic level at least, right, versus weights.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up. Uh, just before I, comment on that, I just
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to Ashwin, who's been commenting, and he's one
Yes.
of my big inspirations. So thank you so much, Ashwin. That means a lot to me. And there's my coach, who is Hema. She's also there.
Right.
Anupama is
What is
another
up?
good friend. There's
Big shout
Vatsala.
outs.
Yes, big shout outs. Diksha is a client of ours at Metasphere. She's
She asks a question, you can answer that
asked a
too.
question which we will answer.
Yeah.
So quickly, I'll comment on what you just said, and then we'll do the questions, right? So basically, one of the things that again drew me to calisthenics is the fact that in bodybuilding, you are training the muscles individually, right? Now, the thing is, as an individual muscle group, it is strong, but as an entire body, your body is not strong, right?
Right.
So the thing that also drew me, like I always wanted to do things like handstand and all of that. And I kind of realized that with a bodybuilding background, it's very difficult to make that possible. Because if you see the way calisthenics training happens, as simple as just hanging from the bar is so much a core activation. Usually people would think it's a back muscle thing, right? But there is so much of core activation that happens when you're just hanging from the bar that it surprises you, as to how much. There's this friend of mine whose father went through this hernia operation, and he was also into, fitness and stuff like that. He used to do pull-ups and all that. So even after this hernia operation, he could hold a plank 1 week after the operation, but he couldn't hang from the bar until like 1 month, just hang from the bar. That talks about how much of a core activation, right? So, just that and things like handstand and everything, it basically integrates your entire body as one unit. And only if you can make your entire body work as one unit, can you then unlock something like that, right?
Exactly.
So, as you said, uh, you know, how your entire body got aligned and your, shoulder, your flexibility also increased, you were feeling stronger. That's exactly because of the neural networks that get created, just like how a baby learns how to walk. Because
Exactly.
there's so many things, so many muscles that have to fire at the same time in order for us to, just walk. And we take it for granted. We only learn how crazy it is when we try to stand upside down as to how much we have to train our mind in order to do that, right? So, yeah, man, actually, there's so much to it. And that's why I love calisthenics. Yeah.
Right. So Diksha also asked a question. Can you speak a little bit about your diet and eating habits? How important it is as part of your training?
Okay, so wonderful question, Diksha. And As I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, I'm vegan. So I don't consume any animal products, including honey. Um, right. So this includes I don't consume dairy products or
Right.
any non-vegetarian food. So predominantly my diet is a combination of raw fruits and vegetables, which are highest in nutrition when eaten raw, right? And I consume whatever natural protein that I can find.
Hmm.
So I consume 1 bar of tofu almost every day,
Hmm.
which is about 200 grams of uh, you know tofu, which gives about like 40 grams of protein totally, right? That along with some lentils and legumes, right? Yeah, my coach is saying his mom's food. Simple answer. Anyway, so yeah, so basically I eat tofu with some curry, which I'll be making a video about also in a couple of days as to what are my protein sources because that's one of the most common questions I get asked being a vegan. So basically a curry which is from lentils and legumes, tofu, raw fruits and vegetables, and some maybe dry fruits, things like that.
Right.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. I don't know if
Right.
I answered her question completely. I think there was a second part.
Probably
Yeah,
you get into, yeah.
how important is it for your training? Okay, very important that you asked me that, Diksha, because believe it or not, what you eat plays 60 to 70% of the role in your training. Your exercise, we just do it for 1 hour, or if you're strong enough, you can do it for 1.5 2 hours, right? And that's just the stimulus. Now, what you do in the rest 23 hours to 22 hours is basically you're eating certain foods, which is fueling your body, and you have to rest well enough without being very stressed out,
Right.
right? So I would say 60 to 70% of what you do is related to your diet. And the 1 to 2 hours is just a stimulus, which is, of course, required, without which you can't progress. But I would say diet is really, really important. That's
Important.
helped me a lot because personally, I've seen friends of mine who do the exact same workout that I did when I was in Cult Fit.
Right.
But the way I progress in terms of both the strength as well as muscle mass, none of them progressed,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it plays a very big, very big role.
Important part in recovery, right? So,
Yes.
Sanket says neurons that fire together, wire together. Amen, brother. Uh,
Yes. By the way,
what's
Sanket is a doctor, so it's coming from like
ah?
the
I
best
heard that
person.
from Dr. Joe Dispenza, if I'm not wrong. Neurons that fire together, wire together.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So, What's asks, there is always fear of injuries, how to avoid it? And guys, before I start wrapping up, throw me in more questions. I'm about to wrap. And then Prashant also has a question.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, so let me answer Vatsla's question quickly. So basically, see, you get injured only when you try to push yourself to a certain limit. Uh, I would say, sometimes, okay, this is one of and in fact, I've been speaking so much good about calisthenics. I also want to bring out one thing which usually, you know, uh, kind of stands out as kind of one of the demotivating things about calisthenics. The thing is that it's harder to progress in calisthenics as compared to bodybuilding. Because to get from one progression to another progression, it takes a lot of training, right? So patience is one thing that all calisthenics athletes have like engraved in their mind because it takes them so much time, to go from one progression to another. There was this one post which says bodybuilders increase in terms of plates and
Yeah.
calisthenic athletes increase in terms of inches. So basically, it's the lever length. When you're
Right,
here
right, right,
today,
right, right.
even if you can extend by 1 inch, that's great progress, right?
Hmm.
It won't be very visual for someone to see, okay, he went from this place to this place,
Right,
but the guy knows the struggle, right?
right.
So coming back to the question, um, so she says, like, how do you avoid fear of injuries? I would say listen to your body. It's very, very important that you listen to your body. There are days when I feel really tired. Even today, I was not doing so well, but I listened to my body. I gave it enough rest,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
I did only what I could do.
Right.
See, my mindset is that I want to be with calisthenics for life. So I want to treat my body right so that I can do this over an entire lifetime. Right?
Right.
So only when I feel ready to try something which is slightly challenging, only then I will push myself to do it.
Right.
It's okay if I progress slowly. I have no regrets about
Right.
it. So yeah.
That's great. So Prashant S. Kanchan asks, can a person who is above 50 start?
Yes,
And
definitely.
how do we get daily motivation to work out? Vishal also throws in another question. Vishal Singh Rajput.
Yes, Vishal is a good friend of mine who is a great workout buddy. So, I mean, he's been killing it. So I will answer his question next. But let me answer Kanchan ma'am's question. So Kanchan ma'am is a good friend of mine from CultFit again.
Right.
So, but she's amazing herself. I love her spirit. She's so positive and motivating always, right? So yes, you can start calisthenics even if you're past 50. As I mentioned earlier, there is a client of us who's 50 plus and who's been doing some incredible things, even what youngsters can't do, right? So it's all about how you progress, and with the right approach, anyone can do calisthenics regardless of your age.
Right.
Just that maybe when you're older, you'll have to focus a little more on mobility and flexibility drills. But apart from that, anyone can do calisthenics regardless of your age.
Right. Right. Uh, we answered that, and did we miss a question?
Uh, Vishal just asked, how do you get motivated daily?
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
That question.
and he knows the answer to the question. It's these guys themselves, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's the community that keeps us motivated,
Exactly.
and Vishal is one of the
Neurons that
guys
wire
in
together, fire together in a different scale.
exactly, man. Like we, it's so much a joy when we see each other's progress, and that you know pushes us forward like really well. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Right. I don't know if you want to answer or can answer this. Deepak S136 says how to get good sleep.
Uh, all right. Kind of, I've had a personal experience with because during lockdown, I didn't sleep for like almost 1.5 months during the night, and I would be awake. I would say if something is stressing you out, that's probably the only reason why you're not able to sleep, right? So I think if you're sorted mentally and if nothing is stressing you out, and also for me personally, if I feel I've had a very productive day, and if I feel my day is worth, uh, you know, whatever I did, then I go to the bed and I'm flat.
Right.
But if I feel I've not done my best, then I don't get good sleep.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I would say.
Go for it. Like work out and like do what you're supposed to. You planned
Yeah,
out throughout the
for
day,
sure.
right?
Live your dream, give your best each and every day,
Exactly.
and you'll be so satisfied at the end of the day that you'll be ready
Right.
to hit the bed.
Exactly. So I have another personal question, bro. So the grip, do you want to get into the grip of it? Because earlier I realized my grip was a bit wrong, but the way I see you guys
Right.
doing it, it's a slightly more different in terms of how you keep your wrists or something. There is
Right.
something to do with it. Do you want to
Right.
get into it a bit?
So, well, to start with grip, I mean, if you want to grab the bar, let's say this is the bar, then I would grab it this way, right?
Right.
Now, this, if I put my thumb over the bar, then it's called a monkey grip.
Okay.
That helps in terms that I can do more number of pull-ups, but it doesn't help me so much to develop grip strength. So I would say thumb would go this way and then you grab it. Now, if you want to do something like a muscle up, then your grip would go slightly over.
Right.
So it's
Right.
called an over grip. So when you do a muscle up, you're trying to go over the bar and then turn, right?
Yes.
And then go over
Yes.
the bar. So if I keep my hand this way, I literally have to turn my wrist all the way like this, which is
Hmm.
a lot of motion, right? So if I already keep my grip over, then it's
Yes.
very easy
Exactly.
for
That's
me
what
to
I want to
transition
ask.
into.
Exactly.
So, so that there's that grip. Then there are different grips. In fact, I was talking to a friend of mine, Girish. who's also, uh, you know, doing along with calisthenics, he's doing rock climbing on the side,
Huh.
right? So he was talking to me about different grips and how even the each individual
Right.
finger plays such an important role,
Yeah.
and you know, it's so crazy. So yeah, even I'm studying a lot about grips,
So there is
but yeah.
more ways to attack it, you say.
Yes, absolutely, man. So this is the pull-up grip when your palm is facing forward. If your hand is this way, it's called the chin-up grip. And then if your hand is this way, this is called neutral grip.
Right.
And depending on how you place your hand also, if you place your hand this way, it works more on your lats when you're doing the pull-up.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
place your hand this way, it's more a bicep activation,
Uh,
right? So
right.
there's so many technical things, and we can talk about it in length whenever,
Yes.
you know.
Great. So, guys, you want him to sing? I'm going to make Arshad sing at the end of the video. So, before I finish up, right? Part of the reason I started the podcast is to bring on techniques, but philosophy too, and why what I derived from being fit and like understanding what fitness meant to me was the philosophy was if you dedicate something. It will bear fruit. It's something like that. That was the philosophy I took, and I started using that philosophy in different areas of my life. So, what was calisthenics, and what's the kind of the philosophy that you derived from it?
So with calisthenics, my initial goal with which I started calisthenics was I wanted to be able to attain a certain physical fitness where I can control my body completely, right? I also train yoga. I mean, I go for yoga classes, and what my yoga sir tells me is that when you can control your body in whatever way you want, then you can control your mind, right?
Right,
So basically, if you can control your body, it's one way to get to your mental peace. Right? So that's kind of what drew me towards calisthenics. But the other side, which I didn't realize, which is happening now to me, is there's so much of a community that is built around calisthenics that and I'm a guy who loves being around people. I love contributing to people. I just love talking to people in general, right?
yes,
And calisthenics is such a community sport. So these two aspects, one is the body control, which leads to mental peace eventually. And then the other thing is it's a community sport where everyone is cheering for the other person. There's no
right,
competition as such, but you're just happy on someone else's, success.
right,
So I think these two things, really make me feel at home with
right,
calisthenics.
right. That's great. So, before anything, Vats says Bangalore Fitness Podcast, amazing job. I mean, like,
Yeah,
kudos to him. That leads me to my question. What are your thoughts on podcasts, podcasting? What's your general overview? Have you been listening to any other podcast? How's it? What's your view?
absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Like, I mean, I love listening to podcasts. I saw your podcast with Sunny, and I also
Yes.
did check out some of the other podcasts you did with
Yep.
some of the psychologists and all of that. And
Yes.
bro,
The
you're
whole.
doing a wonderful job, man. Thank you so
Thanks.
much for having
Thank
me,
you.
and you're doing some
Definitely,
really
bro.
cool stuff, taking so much time off from, your schedule just to do this, right?
I love the fitness community, and it's a part of my as I told you, like I want to know philosophies. I'm like I like the techniques and I like the philosophy too. I'm like, why not get people over involved in the community so that people can learn. That's the whole point for podcasts for me personally. And
Exactly.
everything and
Yeah.
anything that I did learn was off of the internet, was off of podcasts as such, right?
Podcast.
So it's a way of giving back to the community so that seeing what's happening in Bangalore. We didn't have a podcast, so that's the whole reason I started one. So what's coming up next is Vatsala on Bangalore Fitness Podcast. Probably I would love to have you guys over, reach out, or if you have a suggestion too, please reach out. I don't bite. Uh, so the main question, bro, do you want to sing for us?
Sure, man. Why not? Like, I mean,
Please,
these guys
please
have stayed
honor the
through the
crowd.
entire podcast, so I would love to sing. It's the least I could do. So
Yes,
let
honor
me
the
just get
crowd,
my
please.
guitar.
Don't worry.
started.
That's a nice little fender.
Yeah, man, this
Guys, please,
is
I would love to have you guys on the podcast. There is nothing as such. Just reach out to me. Let's set up, let's schedule a podcast episode.
right. So this is like a really beautiful song. One of the first songs I learned on guitar to sing as well. So this is a song from this movie called Wake Up Sid,
Right.
and it's called Iktara. So yeah, everyone's really excited, and
Yes.
I'm
Hema will be on
just
my podcast. Please do send her profile. Like, I'll just hit her up and like, I'll just message her and ask her would she like to be on my podcast on the fitness
Hema, is
podcast.
it?
Yeah. What says we want Hema
Okay,
on the
for
next
sure.
podcast?
I'll tell coach. So, okay, this is a dedication to someone on the chat. So, you know who you are. Here
All
it
right.
goes. और मन तो घबरा है, तू ही जाने तू क्या सोचता है, तू ही जाने तू क्या सोचता है, क्यों दिखाए सब तू तो जागते, चुप से सबके बूंद बूंद नैनों को बूंद नैनों को बूंद चुप से सबके बूंद बूंद नैनों को बूंद कैसे मैं चलूं देखना सके जाने हंसते मुझे सब कोई मुझे सब कोई मैं बोल कोई बोल कोई मुझे सब कोई
Woo! There you go, guys. I want to save the episode before like anything happens like the older one. So I'm going to do my level best to save it as soon as possible. Thank you, Arshad, for coming over for the podcast.
Yeah,
It's
no
been a
worries,
pleasure.
man. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure's mine, bro.
And big shout out to all my friends who are
Definitely.
here for the podcast. They stayed through the whole thing, so it means the world to me.
Yes,
So thank
that's
you so
great.
much, guys.
Guys, go ahead, share it to your friends, and like let people understand like, what's behind this calisthenics community. And hopefully, I've asked good questions. Hopefully, if you have any more questions, I'd probably send him, ask more questions if there's anything else. Other than that, as I told you, if you want to be on my podcast, please do hit me up or like suggest me, someone who's ready to be on the podcast who be a good fit for the podcast. Until then, see you guys. It's been a great episode. I want to save this. I want to save this so badly.
Thank you so much, bro. It means a lot. Thank you
Yes.
for having me,
Yes.
and wonderful.
Great, bro. Before that, we got to jam. We got to play basketball. And we got to work out a lot of things.
Catch up. Yeah, we should come out to Jamal Park.
Yeah, sure, bro. Probably I'd cover one episode like with all you guys there, probably.
Done. Sorted.
That's great. See you guys. Have a great night. Thank you for watching, staying back. It's been beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who was here till the end, guys. Means a lot. Everyone, Sunil, Deepak, Vatsala, my coach Hema, Jyoti, everyone who's here. Thank you so much. Means a lot, guys.
Thank you, guys. Profess 10x for you guys. See you.
Yeah.
Reach out to him if there's anything else. Good night. Good night, guys. Bye bye.
Good night, guys. Take care. Bye bye. See you, bro.
See you.